Welcome to this video on how to trace an existing plan and get an instant estimate. With BuildingWorks, you can take off and price up existing plans really quickly and very accurately. Perhaps your client would like you to price up an extension and has supplied you with architect's plans. With BuildingWorks, you can import and trace the plans to achieve a quick and accurate takeoff and estimate. In this tutorial, we'll show you how. You do the tracing of the existing plan in the drawing module of BuildingWorks, and to do that you'll need a mouse with a scroll wheel. If you haven't got one, you can pick one up from a PC shop or local supermarket for a few pounds. You'll also need the BuildingWorks Estimate module activated, as it is this part of the software which calculates the costs and quantities of resources involved. You may find it helpful to have a copy of the BuildingWorks shortcut key guide next to you, to help with drafting your plans. You can find a link to this guide underneath this video on the support website. You can also print a copy of the example plans used in this video if you want to practice using them. These can be found on the support website alongside the video and shortcut key guide. Double-click on the BuildingWorks icon on your desktop to launch the software. From the BuildingWorks home screen, you can create new projects and open existing ones. There are also links to help topics which you might find useful. To get started, create a project. A project encompasses all of the work you're undertaking for a client on a specific site. A project may consist of just one job, for example an extension, or multiple jobs, as in the case of a development with multiple houses. Click New on the left-hand menu. Now tick the items you want to include in your project. To take off and estimate from an existing plan, you'll need both a drawing and an estimate in your project. Click Drawing, and then consider which drawing template to use. Before selecting your page size and scale, check the size and scale of the existing plans. If you match the scale of the page to the plans you're importing, you won't need to spend time scaling the plans once they're imported. I'm going to select A4 1:50 Landscape, as this matches my original plans. You can change the scale and page size later on from within the drawing module if you need to. When you add a drawing to a project, an estimate is automatically added, so all you need to do is select a labour productivity profile. The labour productivity profile you select will set the labour allowances for each of the tasks within your estimate. The extension and renovation labour productivity profiles generally allow more time for each task to be completed. You can customise the labour allowance for each type of labour from within your estimate. I'm going to select the extension labour productivity profile. Then click Create Project. After a moment, you'll find yourself looking at the Project Details screen. From the Project Details screen, you can enter the client and site address details. You can also add extra jobs to your project if you need to. From the main window, you can open the Drawing and Estimate modules. At the top of the screen is the ribbon. You'll see different tabs on the ribbon, with different buttons, depending on which screen you're looking at. The Project Explorer sits on the left-hand side of the screen. The Project Explorer is used to navigate your way around BuildingWorks. Click on the drawing on the Project Explorer. This is the drawing screen. Along the ribbon at the top of the screen are all the design tools you need to create professional-looking plans. All of the tools you need to take off and estimate from existing plans can be found on the Scan and Trace tab. First, you need to import your existing plans. Click the Import button. A dialog box prompts you to select the file type you want to import. You can import a scanned image, such as a JPEG or a bitmap, a PDF, or a CAD file into BuildingWorks. If you import a CAD file, such as a DWG or DXF file, you can click on snap points on the drawing. This time I'll show you how to import a PDF, as this is the file type most commonly used. Once you've selected your file type, click Next. Now locate the file on your computer and click Open. The next dialog box gives you a preview of the PDF. If the PDF document has multiple pages, you can scroll through them and select the page you want to import using the arrows here. Once you've selected the page you want to import, click Finish. Now you need to place the PDF image on the drawing page. The instructions at the bottom of the screen help you to do this. The first instruction says, click to place the first corner point of the image. Locate the bottom left-hand corner of the drawing page, the origin. and click the left mouse button to place the first corner of the image. The next instruction says, click to place the second corner point of the image. Click as closely as you can to the top right hand corner of the drawing page. It may help to zoom in by hovering your cursor over the corner and scrolling the mouse wheel towards the screen. Left click to place the second corner of the image. After a moment, the imported PDF plans will appear on the BuildingWorks drawing screen. You may need to zoom out by scrolling the mouse wheel away from the screen so you can see the whole page again. As I match the page size and scale to the original drawing, the scale should be correct. Let's take a moment to look at the other buttons on the Scan and Trace tab. Once the image is imported, BuildingWorks will automatically switch to Trace mode. You can see that it's switched on as the Toggle Trace Mode button has turned blue. This means when you trace over the imported plans with the architectural tools, the walls, windows, doors and so on that you draw will appear in a bold red pen, so you can clearly see what you're doing. The image is imported onto its own Scan and Trace layer. This means that you can hide and show the original drawing as required using this button here. Placing construction lines on the drawing allows you to quickly and accurately map out the walls. Go to the Drawing and Annotation tab of the ribbon. Here you'll find all the construction line tools. Click on the Vertical Construction Lines button. Once you've selected a construction line tool, you'll see that you're effectively holding the construction line with the cursor. All you need to do is click to place it. Let's place the vertical construction lines from left to right. Zoom into the drawing page by placing your cursor on the area of the page you want to zoom into and scrolling the mouse wheel towards the screen. Once you're happy with the position of the construction line, click the left mouse button to place it. Once placed, the construction line will turn blue. If you want to move to a different part of the drawing area, you can drag the page by holding down the scroll wheel or middle click button if your mouse has one, and moving your mouse to the left, or right, up or down. This is helpful when navigating your way around the drawing page. Dragging the page in this way and scrolling in and out, continue to place the vertical construction lines on your drawing. Once you've placed the final vertical construction line, press the Escape key on your keyboard. Pressing the Escape key will always cancel the current action, in this case dropping the Vertical Construction Line tool. Now click the Horizontal Construction Lines button. Now place the horizontal construction lines. Remember to press down the mouse scroll wheel and move the mouse to navigate your way around the drawing screen. Zoom in by scrolling the mouse wheel towards the screen. And zoom out by scrolling the mouse wheel away from the screen. Once you've placed the final construction line, press the Escape key on your keyboard. Now the construction lines are in place, we can trace the external walls. Let's start by drawing the existing walls, which don't need to be estimated. We do need to draw the existing walls so that we can add the structural opening and tee the new roof into the existing building. Click on the Architectural tab. Click on the External Walls button and select a wall type from the drop-down menu. BuildingWorks comes supplied with a range of external wall types, from traditional masonry walls to timber frame, SIPs and ICF walls. I'm going to select the brick and block cavity walls for this example. The Wall Component Builder pops up. From here you can choose the specification and configuration of your external wall and enter its dimensions. The first screen prompts you to select a specification. Because we want to draw the walls of the original house, which will not be included in the estimate, select the Existing Wall option. As you can see, there's no cost associated with this wall. Once you've clicked Existing Wall, click Next. The next screen prompts you to select a configuration. The ground floor configuration includes foundations and footings, whereas the upper floor configuration naturally doesn't. I'm drawing ground floor walls. Click Next. The final screen of the Wall Component Builder prompts you to enter some dimensions. These dimensions are required to draw the wall accurately. You can press the Tab key on your keyboard to move quickly to the next input box. I'm going to change the wall height to 2325 mm. Click on the Height of Wall drop-down box and select the appropriate wall height. Check the leaf and cavity widths are correct, and then click Finish. BuildingWorks is now ready to draw the existing walls. Take a look at the instructions window at the bottom of the screen. The instruction window gives helpful step-by-step prompts on how to draw each item. Make sure you refer to the instructions window each time you're drawing a new element. The instructions prompt you to click to place the start point. Place your cursor over the end of a wall where two construction lines meet. When you hover your cursor over items which have been drawn on screen, you'll find various snap points. Snap points help you to accurately place items. Where two construction lines meet or intersect, you'll find an intersection snap point. The word intersection pops up next to your cursor. Once you've located the intersection snap point, click the left mouse button to place the start of the walls. Don't hold down the left mouse button, just click and release. The red line on the wall highlights which side of the wall you're placing, while the arrow identifies the external side of the wall. You'll notice a set of wall tools appear on the ribbon when you're drawing your walls. From here, you can change the external side of the wall by selecting either right or left from the external side drop-down box. You may notice that the walls are not appearing in quite the right place at the moment. This is because of the justification of the walls. The justification drop-down box tells BuildingWorks which side of the wall to place with your mouse clicks. In the justification drop-down box, I'm going to select right, so that I'm drawing the right side of my walls, thus placing them inside the construction lines. The justification may at first be a little confusing. It depends on the direction you're drawing your walls in, but have a play around with it and you'll soon figure it out. Once the external wall side and justification are correct, you can finish placing your walls. The instructions now prompt you to click to place the next point. Locate the intersection point at the next corner, or a perpendicular snap point will do, and then click the left mouse button to place the next point. Continue placing the corners of your walls until you reach the end. Then press the Escape key. Remember, the Escape key cancels the current action, in this case dropping the wall drawing tool. So that's the existing walls done, and you'll notice that the estimate cost is 0, as it should be. Now let's draw the walls we want to estimate, the extension walls. Click on the External Walls drop-down menu once again. Select the relevant wall type. The Wall Component Builder pops up again. Remember, this is where you choose the specification and configuration of your external wall and enter its dimensions. This information is used to draw your wall and build the estimate as you draft your plans. Start by selecting a wall specification. This time we're estimating the walls we're drawing, so we need to choose carefully from the specifications, selecting the appropriate thermal rating, thickness, and rate. Each specification includes real materials and manufacturer product data. If you need to, you can tailor a specification by clicking on the specification and then clicking the Review Specification button. You can swap or edit a rate or resource within the specification, or delete any rates or resources you don't need. You can also add an item to the specification. Once you're happy with the wall specification, click Next to move on to the next page of the Wall Component Builder. Now select Configuration. For this example, I'm going to draw ground floor walls again, which includes foundations and footings as you'd expect. Click Next. The next screen prompts you to select a specification for the foundations. You can review and edit a foundation specification in the same way as the wall specification, but if you're happy with it out of the box, simply select one and click Next. Now you can review the foundation dimensions. If this Next button says Scroll Down, it means there are input boxes you need to review further down the screen. Once you've scrolled down and reviewed all of the dimensions, the next button will reappear. Click Back to go back to the previous screen if you realise you need to make any changes, or click Next to continue to the footing details. This screen prompts you to select a specification for the footings. Select the specification you want to use, review it if necessary using the Review Specification button, or click Next to continue working through the Wall Component Builder. The next screen requires you to select a footing configuration. Of course, it's crucial that you ensure your selected foundation and footing are compatible in terms of construction and dimensions. Select shallow strip or trench fill as required, and then click Next. Now you can review the footing dimensions. If you click into an input box, you can see the handy tech tip at the top of the screen, which explains exactly what dimension is required. Work your way through the footing dimensions, check that the DPC height is correct, and then click Next. Finally, you can tell BuildingWorks about the dimensions of the wall. For a multi-storey wall, enter the height of unfinished wall. In other words, the height of wall which is taken up by the floor above and doesn't require plastering and decoration on the internal side. As this is a single-storey extension, I can leave it set to 0. Now select the wall height from the drop-down box. Alternatively, you can type a wall height into the drop-down box. Once you're happy, click Finish. Now you're ready to trace around the new walls. The instruction window is telling us to click to place the start point. As before, click on any intersection point to begin drawing the walls. Remember to click and release the left mouse button to place the point. Don't hold down the left mouse button, just click and release. Remember, the red line on the wall highlights which side of the wall you're placing, while the arrow identifies the external side of the wall. So it's all correct this time. You can change the justification and external side of the wall though, using the drop-down boxes on the Wall tab. Now the instructions are telling us to click to place the next point. Locate the next intersection point, and click the left mouse button to place the corner of the walls. Continue clicking to place your walls in this way. If the walls you're drawing form a loop, click back onto the first point of your walls to complete the loop and close your walls. If your walls form a horseshoe shape as mine do, press the Escape key once you've placed the final point. You can, of course, trace over internal walls in the same way. BuildingWorks is building your estimate as you add each element to your drawing. Now we can see the cost of the new brick and block cavity walls. At the moment I'm working in sketch mode, which gives a simplified view of the drawing. To show more detail, including wall hatching and so on, you can switch to Detail mode. To do that, go to the Views in 3D tab and click the Sketch Detail Mode button. Now we can see the wall hatching. Once you've drawn a wall, the Extra Items window will come to the fore, showing you some additional items that you might want to add to your estimate. Let's estimate the wall starters. Click the Draw button under Wall Starter to External Wall. The instructions prompt you to place the symbol. Place your cursor where you want to position the wall starter. You might need to zoom in. Once you're happy with the position of the wall starter, click the left mouse button. The instructions now prompt you to select the rotation of the item. If I move my cursor, you can see how we can rotate the symbol. If you hold down the Shift key, you can lock the wall starter to 45 or 90 degree increments, so it's easier to place accurately. Then once you're happy that the orientation of the wall starter is correct, click the left mouse button to finish placing it. Repeat this process to place each wall starter. You can now see the wall cost, including wall starters. Of course, costs are dependent on the material and labour rates in the software. As prices can vary, we suggest that you check the rates to ensure they reflect what you pay. Also, bear in mind that costs reflect the specification and quality of material selected, and also include wastage. Let's add the opening into the existing wall. Of course, we want to estimate the cost of forming the opening in the existing wall, in addition to the materials required. To get started, click on the Openings and Steelwork button on the Architectural tab. You'll find a variety of opening and steelwork options. Click on Structural Openings. The Structural Openings component builder pops up. There's just one screen asking you to enter a few dimensions. Check you're happy with the lintel bearing and the opening height. Then enter the width of the opening. In this case it's 2 meters or 2000 millimeters. Once you're done, click Finish. The instructions prompt you to select the insertion point on the wall. When placing opening doors and windows, it's easier to do so in Detail mode, as this mode allows you to see the openings more easily on the original plans. If you're not already in Detail mode, go to the Views in 3D tab and click the Sketch Detail Mode button. Using the existing plans as a guide, place your cursor where you want to insert the opening. Once you're happy with its position, click the left mouse button to place the opening. You can place openings more accurately by entering the distance from the end of a wall or other opening, but for the purposes of taking off, this will be accurate enough. A dialog box has popped up asking you to select the type of opening you're estimating. We want to select the option to form a structural opening in a wall located in an existing building. That's already selected, so let's click Next. The next screen prompts you to select the lintel for the structural opening. Select a lintel from the range of different sizes and weights. Note that BuildingWorks has not performed any engineering calculations, so you'll need to ensure that you select the correct lintel for your job. Once you've selected a lintel, click Next. As this is a cavity wall, you'll need to select a lintel for the second leaf of the wall. Once you've done that, click Next. There's only one specification available, so click Next to select it. You can of course review and edit the spec if you need to. Finally, check you're happy with the lintel bearing. Then click Finish. Now press the Escape key to tell BuildingWorks that you've finished drawing structural openings. So that's the structural opening dealt with. See how the estimate is building each time you add a new element of the build. Adding and estimating the concrete slab takes just a minute or two. To start drawing your slab, click on the Architectural tab and click the Floors button. Select the concrete slabs type from the drop-down menu. The concrete slabs component builder pops up, asking you to select a specification. You can order the specifications by thermal performance, structural thickness, or cost. Just click on the column headers to sort them. I'm going to select the reinforced concrete slab, insulation below slab, high thermal performance specification. Once you've clicked on the spec, click Finish. The instructions tell us to click to place the start point, or alternatively to press the F key to fill a space at the mouse location. This is the quickest way of drawing an area of slab with a perimeter which has already been defined. Simply hover your cursor in the room where you want to draw the slab, and then press the F key. So I'm going to hover my cursor over the extension and press the F key on the keyboard. BuildingWorks automatically draws the slab to fill the room. Now you can add sundry items, such as perimeter insulation. The Extra Items window has appeared. If you can't see the Extra Items window, you may need to click on the area of slab to bring up the options. You'll probably want to add perimeter insulation to your estimate. Click the Draw button under Perimeter Insulation. The instructions tell you to click to place the start point. Find the snap points on the corners of the room. They may be end snap points, which as the name suggests come at the end of a wall, or perpendicular snap points, which are perpendicular to the point you just placed. Either is fine. Click around the corners of the room, and once you're done, press the Escape key to finish drawing the insulation. On the Extra Items tab, you can also enter the number of days that a concrete pump is required. So that's the materials, labour and plant required for the concrete slab, all accounted for in the estimate. It's as simple as that. Okay, so let's add the French doors. On the Architecturals tab, click on the Doors drop-down menu. Select a type of door. I'm going to select the PVC-U French doors. The Doors component builder pops up. The first screen prompts you to select a door from the onboard library. You can sort the doors using a variety of filters, such as manufacturer, size, or thermal rating. I'm going to filter the doors by width, and select a French door with a 2090mm width. I'm also going to filter the doors to show white doors. Scroll down the doors, click on a door to select it, and then click Next. The next screen asks you to check the external reveal depth. Once you're happy with this dimension, click Finish. As with the opening, the instructions ask you to select an insertion point on the wall. I'm going to zoom in on the side wall of the extension by placing my cursor there and scrolling the mouse wheel towards the screen. As with the structural opening, I'm happy to use the original plan as a guide to place the door by eye. Click the left mouse button to place the door. The instructions now ask you to select the door alignment. Click the left mouse button again. For some doors you'll need to indicate the hinge side and direction of opening. In this case, it's determined by the door you selected. BuildingWorks automatically locates a range of lintels which may be suitable for your wall type, thickness and opening width. BuildingWorks is using this data to produce the estimate. Click on the lintel you want and click Next. Finally, the component builder prompts you to select a specification. You can review any specification if you need, clicking the Review Specification button, or click Finish once you've selected a specification. If you've finished placing doors of this specification, press the Escape key on your keyboard to drop the door insertion tool. Now we can see the cost of the job, including French doors. You can draw and estimate windows in exactly the same way. Now let's add the roof. The roof of this extension is a simple apex roof. Find the Roofs drop-down menu and select the roof type you want from those available, including cut, truss, SIPs and flat roofs. I'm going to use the cold cut roof. The roof component builder pops up. From here you choose the specification and type or shape of roof and enter its dimensions. Start by choosing a specification which suits your job. I'm going to select the tiled cut cold roof with a high thermal performance. Let's take a quick look at this specification by clicking Review Specification. At the moment, plain tiles are specified. Due to the pitch of my roof, I need to swap them for pan tiles. If I click the Swap button next to the tile assembly, I can select an alternative assembly. A dialog box pops up explaining that changing an assembly within the specification will change it across this estimating calculator. What this means is that if you change the tile assembly for this roof specification, the tile assembly will also change in any other roofs you've estimated or estimate in the future using this specification. Click OK. The Swap Assembly dialog box pops up. Take a look at the alternative tile assemblies and click on the one you want to use. Then click Select. You'll see that the roof specification has been updated and the estimate is now based on double Roman interlocking concrete tiles. Once you're happy with the specification, click Next. The next screen prompts you to select a type of roof. Click on a roof image or the radio button on the left to select a roof type. Apex roof is already selected, so I can click Next. The next screen prompts you to enter the dimensions of the roof. I'm going to enter a pitch of 30 degrees. If I overtype side 1, side 2 is automatically updated. Scroll down the window, reviewing the other details as necessary. Ignore the value options as they're not relevant in this case. Once you're done, click Finish. BuildingWorks is now ready to draw the roof. There are 5 simple steps to draw an apex roof which abuts a wall. Don't forget to follow the on-screen instructions to guide you through the process. The first instruction tells you to click on any wall that the roof is on. BuildingWorks will take the wall plate height from this wall, so it doesn't really matter which wall you click on. I'm going to click on the back wall of the extension. The next instruction tells you to click on the first corner to indicate the width of the building. In the case of an apex roof, the width of the building means the gable end of the roof. I'm going to click on the left corner of the gable end. The next instruction tells you to click on the second corner to indicate the width of the building. I'm now going to click on the right end of the gable. The next instruction tells you to click on the opposite corner to indicate the length of the building, or press the T key to join an existing wall or roof. As this roof is adjoining a wall, I need to press the T key on my keyboard. Finally, the instructions prompt you to select the wall or roof line to tee into. Click onto the existing wall which the roof abuts. After a moment, the roof lines will appear on the drawing and the estimate cost will be updated. Once you've drawn your roof, the Extra Items window will pop up, showing you all the extra items you can add to the roof. Let's draw and estimate the plastered ceiling. Click the Draw button under the roof joists fixed at 400mm centres with insulated ceiling. The instruction prompts you to draw the ceiling or press the F key to fill. You can draw the ceiling in exactly the same way as you drew the slab using the F key. Simply place your cursor in the room where you want to draw the ceiling, then press the F key on your keyboard. BuildingWorks automatically draws and estimates the ceiling. You can also add bracing, purlins, binders, rainwater goods and so on. For help on doing this, take a look at the videos on drawing roofs. Let's take a look at the cost of the estimate, including the roof and ceiling. You can continue adding staircases, plumbing and heating, electrics, kitchens, bathrooms and drainage to your plans, building your estimate as you go along. Now let's take a look at the impressive 3D model BuildingWorks has created directly from your plans. You can use the 3D model as a visual checklist to ensure you haven't missed anything from your estimate. If the 3D model is already available on the screen, click on the tab to view it. If it's not currently on screen, launch the 3D model window by going to the Views and 3D tab and clicking the 3D model button. You can rotate the model to view it from a different perspective by placing your cursor over the model and holding down the left mouse button. Click the Home button to reset the 3D model at its original view at any time. When working on an extension or any property with existing and new elements, you may want to view only the new part of the building. To do this, click Visibility on the 3D model toolbar and untick Show Existing Components. This will hide the existing part of the building. Of course, if you want to, you can draw the entire existing property if you want to use the 3D model to show your client, or if you need more drawing detail for planning and regs, etc. Let's move to the Estimate module and take a look at the estimate in more detail now. As you traced over your plans, BuildingWorks used the specifications you selected, combined with the dimensions you entered and drew on screen, to estimate each element of the job. Click Estimate on the Project Explorer. You'll find yourself looking at the Estimate dashboard. Here you can see the cost of each component of the job, along with the total cost of the build. You can open each estimating calculator and check the specification of each element of the job, swapping resources and updating prices as required. You can add site preliminaries and subcontractor quotations to your estimate. And you can also check your profit markup. Once you're happy that your estimate is complete, why not spend a few moments looking at the reports produced by BuildingWorks? Note that to ensure the dates are displayed correctly on your reports, you need to first set up the build program. Click Reporting on the Project Explorer to navigate to the list of reports. The Estimate Completion Checker dialog box pops up, prompting you to check your estimate. The Estimate Completion Checker helps ensure that you haven't missed anything from your estimate or made any errors. The traffic lights on the left highlight any potential issues with the estimate. Take a look at the video on reports for more information on how to use the Estimate Completion Checker. Click Close for now. In the reporting screen, you'll find an extensive list of reports which BuildingWorks has created. No extra effort required. The descriptions give you an idea of what's included in each report. Double-click on a report on the main window to open it. Let's take a look at the material order schedule. If you want to print a report, you can do so by clicking the Print Preview button. To export your report, for example to email to a merchant, click the Export button. Take a look at the video on reviewing and printing reports for more help with the reporting tools. Of course, if you're using the Estimate Professional QS version of BuildingWorks, BuildingWorks has automatically produced elemental and work section bills of quantities without you having to type a thing. If we minimise the reports, we can click Bill of Quantities on the Project Explorer. Let's take a look at the work section bill of quantities. You can define the way products and prices are displayed using these options on the left-hand side. Finally, let's have a look at the quotes. Click Quotes on the Project Explorer. As with the reports, you need to ensure your estimate is complete and your build program is set up before you produce a quote. Out of the box, you'll find a range of quote templates which show varying levels of detail. Let's take a look at this template, the customer quote with materials, labour and plant costs. As the name suggests, it's a fairly detailed quote. Double-click on a quote to open it. The client and site address details you entered into the project detail screen appear automatically on the cover page. You can import your company logo here. The quote includes a default cover letter. Of course, you can edit this to reflect your own style. Scrolling down, you'll see that the quote is broken down into build phases. In this quote, you can see line-by-line costs for materials, labour and plant. At the end of the quote, you'll find a summary, acceptance forms, and space to insert your terms and conditions. You have full control over the level of detail included. If you click the Edit button, you can customise every aspect of the quote, including the text in the cover letter and the terms and conditions. You can decide whether to include branded or unbranded material descriptions, and whether to show material, labour and plant subtotals. It's completely up to you. Of course, you can simply select an alternative quote template. If you want to show much less detail, select one of the abbreviated options, such as the abbreviated customer quote. Single click on a quote on the Project Explorer to open it. Let's take a quick look at the abbreviated quote. Once you're happy with your quote, you can simply print, export, or email it directly to your client. Over to you. Import some existing plans and trace over them using the architectural drawing tools to achieve an instant estimate and an impressive professional quote for your client. Power to the builder!